here on the Backfist Customs Glitter channel, and today I want to share a little trick on how to know exactly how much epoxy to use in your silicone molds. Especially these large ones, it's really hard to guesstimate, and it's also a lot harder to mix up extra when you're in the middle of a pour. So we've got this large Africa tray, and underneath of it I have a cutting board. Especially with these large molds, I'm telling you, if you try to pick it up when it's full of water, it's really, really difficult. So it seems like common knowledge or common sense that silicone would not slide against your countertops, but the first time I did this, if you're anything like me, you get so focused on certain parts of the task that you miss those other little things. So I filled it up with water and I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna dump this out? And I made a huge mess. So put your mold on like a cutting board or a cookie sheet, something that's stable underneath of it that you can lift it up and then easily pour it into the sink. I usually do this right next to my sink, and I'll just have to have nice balance walking over there with this. But having something under it is really going to help you dump the water out when we're done with this. So the trick is water. I've got my Pyrex here. I've got it filled up to the top, 500 milliliters, and I've got some water in a pitcher over to the side. And we're going to use the water to determine an estimate on how much epoxy that we're going to need for this mold. So I'm just going to pour slow, and I'm just going to pour it in. Now this is a guesstimate. Remember, when you're using molds, if you put in a lot of colorant or if you put in a lot of like chunky glitter, that takes up a little bit more space than some of the fine glitter does. So you might use a little bit less epoxy on that pour. Just something to kind of keep in mind. And I want to make sure that this is flush to the top. And when I have it filled, then I can look at my measuring cup and let's see. I've got 200 milliliters left. So I'm going to subtract the 200 from the 500, and I've used 300 milliliters. So when I go to mix up my epoxy for this tray, to actually pour the tray, I'm going to mix up 300 milliliters, and that should be a really good base foundation for me. It should fill it up just nice. If I do have anything left over, like if I put a lot of chunkies in this, again, just keep a little smaller mold off to the side and pop it in there, and that way you haven't wasted anything. This is also a wonderful time to clean your molds. So when I put this into my sink, I'm just going to add just a touch, just a tiny little drop of dish soap, and carefully just use my hands and kind of hand wash it off and set it off to dry. I do like to dry it off so that there's not any water spots that are left on there. And just make sure that you're really, really careful when you do that and kind of do a blotting and not a rubbing. If you rub, it's easy to damage that silicone, make it tear. So just kind of blot it with a non-lint type of rag. So like a microfiber cloth is what I usually use when I'm drying them off. So thanks for watching. I really hope that this helped you guys. Please like the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any of our little tips or any of the content. Thanks. See y'all next time.